pre-recording. We're gonna do a little video of this. This is me right here. See me? There I go. Israelite Hebrew Agency, right there. So I downloaded the timeline. It was so great of information that I went online and got a timeline of world history AD. So there's a website you can go to, and it has timelines of AD, BC, different eras, different dates. I decided we're going to break down everything that happened in the last 2,000 years. Now, if you're a scholar of the Most High, Yahuwah, then he's going to advise you to study everything, and you're going to know everything from Bereshit to Gileon, which is Revelation, Genesis to Revelation. You're going to know everything. I got so good, I can get things, times and dates, events that took place. I can mark them, pinpoint them within a period of 2 to 3 years. Because once you have something on a timeline, you can't go forward so much until you get into conflict and run into the next event, or backwards so much to where when you're stepping on the toes of a previous event that hasn't finished yet. And if you're a scholar in historical events, you know what I'm talking about. The Most High will make you a scholar in historical events, and I could testify to that. Hallelujah. So this is just a little preliminary. Might even scrap this, but starting September 12th, 1958. What is this? Well, anyways, don't even worry about that. I don't even know what that is. What is this? Oh, that's that. Okay. Got it. Turn off this phone real quick. So this is a timeline. Don't worry about that. That's something else. Of what happened in 1958. Anyway, so let me explain to you the categories that I have selected. Let me just make everything available. The first half of this video will be about how I'm doing this, how I'm breaking it down, Israelite style. So it says military, religion, science events, technology events, economics, political, climate, exploration, disease, Americas, China, Rome. Certain of these are good for certain subjects, but I'm going to tell you right off the bat, I don't need economics. Might need that, but don't need that. I want to do climate because Yahweh is a god of weather. Exploration, let me see where these heathens been traveling and conquering. Disease, let me see the plagues of the Most High. Don't want to see America because I'm in America. Want to see China because things going on in China right now with China and Revelation, Gileona. And let's check out what Rome was doing, those bastards. What did they do to make us lose our memory of who we are? Military, of course. Religion, of course. You know what that is. Religion is division. So let's see how they divided us. Science and technology. I don't need technology. Well, let me do technology. No, I don't need technology. I want to do science to see what they've been creating in the science labs, in the petri dishes. So, and let me just make a point. This is the reason why I'm going here today. I've been had this for like a year. But look at this. Look at this. Have you heard about the massacre of the Hutus during the First Congo War? And that was just the first war. How many people died? Let me see. How many people died? I found this. 1994. When was you born? This is 1994. Massacre 800,000 Tutsis in a few weeks using machetes and clubs. A very violent death. 800,000 violent murders by machetes and clubs. It wasn't no guess to how they died. It wasn't no shrapnel. It was 800,000 in a few weeks. It won't highlight. 800,000. And then I said, 800,000. What about the massacre versus Ukraine refugees? Right? Look at that. 800,000 in a few weeks. And they're crying, these Gentiles, Eurocentric Gentiles, death toll rises to 21. Hold on, let's get the actual number. So let's look for 1,000. The count 115 days. How many weeks in 115 days? 16 weeks. That's 4 months. They're trying to make it look like it's within a short period of time, but it ain't as short as a few weeks. What's a few weeks? 3 weeks is a few weeks. All right, 3 weeks. We're going to put 3 weeks is a few weeks. You can't even get paid good enough in 3 weeks, but you can kill 800,000. So this is the Tutsi right here. And this is a postcard, not even a postcard. This is what is this? Let's go to it. Identification card, right? So this is UnitedNations.org. Outreach program on the 1994 genocide against the Tutsis in Rwanda and the United Nations. Now it was, you seen the Rwanda movie, all of that mass genocide. This was sparked by white people, so-called white folks, Euro-Gentiles, falsely identifying and separating these dark melanated brethrens. Get that junk off the screen. See my bro right here? So he's not Hutu, he's not Twa, he's Tutsi. Let's read. January 1st, 1932. Belgium introduces identity cards distinguishing Hutu, Tutsi, and Twa. Prior to the colonial era, Hutu, Tutsi, and Twa lived in relative harmony. See? The Tutsi, 14% of the population. Again, you should not number the children of Israel. These bastards always want to reduce our people, God's people, to a percentage. Were the cattle herders, soldiers, and administrators of that area. The Hutu, 85%, were the farmers. And the marginalized Twa, 1%, were hunter-gatherers or potters. Individuals could and did move between the categories of Tutsi and Hutu as their fortunes rose and fell. So it was a classification within their own right. And intermarriage was not uncommon. It was not until the bastard Belgian colonization and the introduction of identity cards, that's what this is, distinguishing between the three groups, that the tensions between the Hutus and Tutsis became focused on race. Now, we're going to go down here and read about Rwanda. So I know you know about the Rwanda movie. This is how that came about. This is how it started. This is before Rwanda. This is the beginning. This is the backstory. Rwanda, a brief history of the country. By 1994, I was born in 1987. By 1994, Rwanda's population stood at more than 7 million people, comprising 3 ethnic groups. Prior to the colonial era, Tutsis generally occupied the higher strata in the social system, and the Hutus the lower. However, social mobility was possible. A Hutu who acquired a large number of cattle or other wealth could be assimilated into the Tutsi group, and impoverished Tutsis would be regarded as Hutu. A clan system also functioned, with the Tutsi clan known as the Nyingnya being the most powerful. Throughout the 1800s, the Nyingnya expanded their influence by conquest and by offering protection in return for tribute. What I want to get to is this. Late 1950s, ethnic conflict begins. The former colonial power Germany lost possession of Rwanda during the First World War, and the territory was then placed under Belgian administration. Why are European countries, they ain't got no business in these continents, these countries, why are they in control of melanated nations? I'll never understand why they think that they should be in the first place. In the late 1950s, during the great wave of decolonization, tensions increased in Rwanda. The Hutu political movement, which stood to gain from majority rule, was gaining momentum, while segments of the Tutsis establishment resisted democratization and the loss of their acquired privileges. Remember, the Hutu were middle class and the Tutsis was upper class. November 1959. But the whole point is, white man, the so-called white man, the Euro Gentiles, were the catalysts in these prior events which led to the genocide. They started this. Okay? In November 1959, a violent incident sparked a Hutu uprising in which hundreds of Tutsis were killed and thousands displaced and forced to flee to neighboring countries. So what's this thing about Ukrainian war? All right? We've been killed and running in the diaspora, right? So where is the aid to these so-called African countries? There weren't any. And this is 1959. This ain't like 1800s. All right? I'm gonna show you these white devils. This marked the start of the so-called Hutu peasant revolution, or social revolution, lasting from 59 to 61, which signified the end of Tutsi domination and the sharpening of ethnic tensions. So now we have internal warfare in the same land, in the same region, in the same goddamn state. This was a catalyst done by the hands of the so-called white man, the Euro Gentiles. 1960s. Now let's go a decade later. Rwanda gains independence. Sulaki. Rwanda gains independence, 1962. By 1962, when Rwanda gained independence, 120, how many homeboys you know? 120,000 people, primarily Tutsis, has taken refuge in neighboring states to escape the violence which had accompanied the gradual coming in power of the Hutu community. This was done by white folks. Then it said in 1980, 480,000 Rwandans became refugees. I know you've seen the movie Hotel Rwanda, right? So this is the backstory to that. This was done by colonialization and democratization. All right? So don't tell me, oh, poor Ukrainians, they need help. They need the help of the whole world back in Ukraine. God damn that. I say go Russia. Get your land back, Russia. Because the Europeans do it all the time. They take land. Right? Get your land back, Russia. And if you got to go to war with the West and the European Union and its allies, do so. You have every right to. An enemy of my enemy is my friend. At least in this case. Right? Because that's going to bring on my salvation. So I just wanted to bring that out. These bastards will lie to you and talk about, oh, you got to support Ukraine.
Them niggas getting billions of trillions of dollars. Where's my reparations? You ain't right your wrong in America here first, you devil. How dare you? These pink booty bastards. I don't like the wickedness in these nations. I do not like it.
Tutsis? Okay, cool. 115, about, what is that? 4 months. Tens of thousands. So let's just say 10,000. Let me bring up my sticky notes. Come on, let's do the math. Working on Genesis right now, but let's do some more notes. We're gonna make this yellow. So you got 800,000 Tutsis. Let me show you how racist these bastards are. In 1995 or something like that. Then you have tens of thousands. So let's be generous for the heathen. Let's put up 10,000. Tens of thousands, so 10,000. Okay? That's how you do the math, children. Tens of thousand Euro Gentiles is what they are. I'm going to put 2022. Let's just put 23 because it's almost the end of the year. We want to get an upbeat on these guys. 800,000 Tutsis murdered 1995. 3 weeks. 4 months. Does that make sense? Now you look at the numbers, and this is 1995, so this ain't nothing. This ain't nothing far back, and this ain't nothing old. So you telling me, okay, cool. Nowadays I feel numb, he says, a morgue worker. Too numb. 1,000. Let's keep going. These guys playing that sad case like they really in some persecution. Let me see it. Look for it. Look for it. Highlight it. Okay, hold on. Thousands. There you go. They died as thousands of others had died in Ukraine from the spray of metallic shards that burst from artillery shells. Get your ass out the way. But when you go back over here, let me get out of here. When you go back over here, you got 800,000 died by blunt force using machetes and clubs. Versus what? Let me see the sticky notes. Machetes and clubs versus, what did they say? Shrapnel? Cry me a river. Cry me a river, Euphrates. Versus metallic shards that burst from an artillery shell. Okay. 800,000 with machetes versus your little 10,000 with shrapnels that they were just walking, trying to be nosy, see what's going on. Okay. Hold on. Let's get some more. Thousands. Hand in the pocket. He ain't care. She the only one crying because her life is a little bit discomforting for her now. Okay, so what? That's dumb. Oh yeah, I'm Joshua with it. I don't have no remorse for no Gentile. God don't have remorse, why should I? Death toll rises. Can we say how many people have died? Almost 1,000 have been killed at close range. 1,000. I don't see 352. Man, where's the almost 800,000? Where's the almost a million? 999,000 plus 1,000, a million. Where's the, come on, tens of thousands up to 200? That's tens of thousands. So who's lying about tens of thousands? That's tens of thousands to 230. They don't even know how many people died in Africa. I just wanted to show you the racism. So we got tens of thousands. They said tens of thousands died. Won't give you a number. You know it's only about 3,000 people. That ain't tens of thousands. White people can't count. They can't. They damn sure don't know. That's why they got you rounding averages. Mean, median, and mode. Doing the most. Genocidal massacre while y'all at war. But you're going to send, my point is this, you're going to send aid. You're going to send aid to Ukraine for that? Don't do it. That's just one. So that's what we're going to go through. Things like that. Now let's go back. Unfortunately, this is what I always tell people. You think it's the year 2022? The white man fooled you again. It's already 2023. Anytime somebody says, "Oh yeah, man, 2022," I always just say a year ahead because we already in that year. Well, you know what? I'm 2023 ready. You see my stuff? It's dated a year earlier. Because Hebrews always going to get the drop on you. See Malcolm X? We always going to get the drop on you. So we is gonna look at these events. Let me just change some of the keys around, like military. I'm a web developer by choice. It's a trade. You know, we can make anything from nothing. Military, let's make military a little dark black gray. Because you know how the military was. So this is the last video I did. We're gonna go jump into it. I don't want World War II, give a damn about them bastards. I don't want World War III. Climate, disease, economics. We don't need economics. Okay. So the first one is 1 AD, an event that happened in 1 AD. Unfortunately, since the scholars designing the new calendar did not have the concept of zero, idiot pagans, the new Gregorian pagan calendar is calculated to start at year 1. So we go directly from 1 BC to 1 AD, thereby making all the calculations of date intervals off by 1. You think it's 2022, but it's actually 2023. Christianity is established as Yahshua is crucified. 30 to 33 AD. 64 AD. In a terrifying week, 2/3 of Rome burns to the ground. And guess what? Emperor Nero takes the opportunity to rebuild Rome and claims a huge plot of land to build his new palace complex. Nero blames the fire on the Israelites, although some claim the fire was started by Nero to clear the land. He orders the first Roman persecution of African Americans in the new faith. Now they should have 73 AD on here. How come? Where is 73 AD? Damn, they don't even have 70 AD. 73 AD.
We got y'all Rule on the phone. Let's see what y'all's thoughts are on this treasure. Who gives a fuck what y'all Rule thinks at a time like this, nigga? This is ridiculous. I don't want to dance. I'm scared to death. I want some answers that y'all Rule might not have right now. thing when bad shit happens to me, I'll be in the crib like, oh my God, this is terrible. Could somebody please find Ja Rule, get hold of this motherfucker so I can make sense of all this. Where is Ja? I need Ja Rule.
But 70 AD, after a 6-month siege, the Romans, under the direction of Titus, destroyed Jerusalem, killing 1.5 million Israelites, Yahudians, black men, women, and children. The gold taken from these black men from the temple finances the Coloseum back in Rome. 97 AD, a Chinese general, Pan Chao, sends an embassy to the Roman Empire. They've been dealing with each other. (117). So this is the time of Simon ben Kosiba, the Bar Kokhba revolt. So after 73 AD, Masada, it was 115 to 136. Emperor Trajan extends Rome's territories to the largest they will ever be. Here we go, 122. Bar Kokhba revolt. The Roman Emperor Hadrian begins the impressive 73-mile defensive wall in the north of England to keep out the Picts and tax the trade. 135 AD. The Bar Kokhba revolt in Jerusalem against the Romans is finally crushed remorsefully. After 2.5 years during which the Yahudi state had home rule and a resumption of animal sacrifices, 580,000 black men, women, and children are killed in the restoration of Roman rule, and the city of Jerusalem is reduced to rubble. Emperor Hadrian does not allow the Israelites to return to Jerusalem and renames the city Aelia Capitolina and renames the land Palestinia. The Yahudi, the black men, will not have political control of Israel again. It says 1,813 years. They're trying to get to 1948 when the fake Jews established their illegal occupation of the Promised Land. (235 AD), the Roman crisis of the 3rd century start. The Eternal City will struggle with civil wars, plagues, barbarian invasion, and climate change. So while y'all watching Netflix, this is what I'm doing. Real Israelites got that knowledge. We're going to be the ones to teach the future children. The ones that's going to be banging for Mashiach. So 313, remember 300 AD, Constantine, the new calendar, Greco-Roman calendar and all of that, 300 AD. Edict of Milan is issued, don't know what that is. Christians are now tolerated in the Roman Empire. Constantine, the not so great, wins the civil wars of the Tetrarchy and reunites the 4 regions of Diocletian's administration into a single empire again. 325 AD, Roman Emperor Constantine dedicates his new eastern capital, so the West Roman Empire fall. Byzantium, Constantinople, modern day Istanbul. So when you hear Istanbul, just think of Constantine, that bastard. Although the western capital Rome will fall in 476, couple 100 years, the Eastern Roman Empire will survive another 1,000 years. Going to 400 AD. The first autobiography in the Western world is written by Saint Augustine of Hippo when he completes the Confessions. Saint Patrick, 461. You want to know what you celebrate St. Patrick's Day for? St. Patrick dies 461 AD. 476 AD. The Western Roman Empire falls. Hallelujah. Trying to get to them Arabs. .550 AD, the first windmills are used by the Persians, those pagans, to power their irrigation pumps. And you know that probably wasn't the first time windmills was used. 570 AD, Muhammad is born, that bastard. Syria, Jerusalem, Egypt, Persia, North Africa falls to Muslim armies many decades later. Let me get that thing about Muhammad. Hold on. So this is JewishEncyclopedia.com about Muhammad, that bastard. I don't feel good, y'all, so just excuse my voice. Somebody, a nasty bi at work gave me something. Nasty people. Muhammad was born in Mecca approximately 570 CE, right? 570 CE, alright? And was a member of the Quraysh tribe. The people who accepted Muhammad's teaching came to be known as Muslims, and the religion Islam, Arabic for surrender to the will of Allah. Muhammad was regarded as the last and most perfect prophet, which is a goddamn lie, because Christ the Mashiach, Yahshua, from the tribe of David, son of Joseph and Mary, is the last Nabi. See how these devils will lie? Now we talking about 622, about 40 years later. Interesting, Medina also had a sizable, this is what I wanted to get, Yahudian community, which had probably moved there after being expelled from Palestine. Remember those chariots of Palestine by the Romans. Muhammad respected the black Yahudi, and his early teachings appeared to borrow from black people tradition. The black people, the Jews, began to distance themselves from Muhammad because the nigga was crazy. However, when he became critical of their not recognizing him as a prophet because the nigga was crazy, once it was clear that the black people would not accept him, just like middle school and high school, Muhammad began to minimize, white man code word, for eliminate genocide, the black people influence on his beliefs. For example, he shifted the direction of prayers from Jerusalem to Mecca. Blasphemy. Made Friday his special day of prayer. Blasphemy. And renounced the Yahudian dietary laws. Blasphemy. Except for the prohibition on eating pork. At least the nigga had that much common sense. Originally, he said the Arabs were descendants of Abraham through his son Ishmael, and justly so. But in the Quran, the nigga will lie to you. Abraham's connection to the Yahudi is denied, with Muhammad asserting that Abraham is only the patriarch of Islam, not Judaism, aka black people's ancestor, as well because he surrendered himself to Allah. One of the immediate consequences of Muhammad, that bastard, frustration was the expulsion of 2 Yahudian tribes. I need to know their names. They're my people. From Medina, and the murder of all the members of a 3rd Yahudian black man tribe, except for the women and children. This is why they have black women in their harems to this day. I'm going to do a video on that. I am. Black people in Arabia, they got most of our women. Wonder why you can't find a good woman over here in America. They got most of our women in Arabia serving them.
In most African countries, pretty much everyone either employs a domestic worker, is related to a domestic worker, or is a domestic worker. They're mostly women, many of them young girls, commonly referred to as house girls. But how much do employers even think about who their maids really are or where they come from?
Huku mtu anaweza kutumia kama punda. Nataka pia wajue sisi pia ni watu, lakini kosa tu pesa.
The problem with domestic workers is they work in a hidden industry because you see they live in people's private households, closed doors and closed walls, so they work in slavery-like conditions.
Kwa hiyo hakuna vile mtu anaweza jificha ati atoke kwa hiyo mboma. Pia na maneno ziko kwa shingo nazo na ni bwana na makucha zake.
In this film, we're going to shed some light on the secret lives of house girls.
Arabia serving them. Ain't that something? We gonna get them. We gonna get them. You want slaves? We gonna get you. Except for the women and children who were sold into slavery. And I'm doing a report on that. But even worse for the long-term treatment of Israelites were a number of inflammatory statements about Israelites, anti-Shemitic, since that's a hot word this season, that Muhammad made that appear in the Quran, which over the years stoked Arab Islam anti-Shemitism. Yeah, that dude's a bastard. Anytime you preaching that kind of hate, you a bastard. That's Muhammad. 632 Muhammad dies. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Kill that bastard. (637) Iranian Secedes Persian defeated by Arab Muslims, about to be Muslim for the next 1,000 years. Muslims. 793, the Vikings start raiding Ireland, and you know the Vikings was the ones that founded Russia. (904 AD), gunpowder is used as a weapon. Not talking about the Chinese fireworks. Talking about white man trading with it. Remember the Chinese went to go visit Rome, right? When was that? Hold on. 97 AD, they visit Rome. 800 years later, gunpowder is used as a weapon for the first time in the siege of Wuchang, China. Although the Chinese developed gunpowder by mixing 75% saltpeter, 50% charcoal, and 10% sulfur centuries earlier for fireworks, right? This is the first recorded time to be used in a large battle.
Kung Fu of the highest standard.
Now we getting into the Muslims. Here comes the Crusades. So every time you see them boys, knights in shining armor, we're talking about the Crusaders. Why were they on their crusade? What was their holy war about? Let's talk about it.
1009 AD, an army led by Caliph al-Hakim, an Arab, destroys the church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem. This desecration will be a rallying point for the Crusades to come. Remember, the Crusades came from Europe, Rome, where the Israelites were sent, the Christians. You had Judaism, so there's Judaism, Christianity, then Islam. 1099 AD, the First Crusade captures Jerusalem using 15,000 troops, and establishes 5 small Christian states. (1149 AD), Oxford University is founded in England. Excuse me, I'm not feeling good, so I'm not really reading these pagan words. You know, English is a very dumb language, and a very dumbed down language, and it's relatively new. It's a bastard language. But the point is this: these 2,000 years after the fall of Jerusalem, whatnot, is the time of the Gentiles. Let me get that. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword. Let me go up. But woe unto them, because I got to get the context. But woe unto them that are with child during these days, and to them that give suck in those days. For there shall be great distress in the land, and wrath upon this people, the people of Most High Yahuwah. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, black man, and shall be led away captive, black man, into all nations, Israelite. And Jerusalem, the city of black man, shall be trodden down by the Gentiles, the Euro Gentiles, until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. And there shall be signs in the sun, and in the moon, and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations, with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring, men's heart failing them for fear. Every movie you see is about fear, gore, nudity, sex, violence, and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth. For the powers of heaven shall be shaken, and then shall they see the Son of Man, a black man, in a cloud with power and great glory. And I'm going to get his description in a second. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draws nigh. Nigga, yes. Let me get how he looks. Let me get how he looks. Hold on. And his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burn in a furnace. What color is brass if it burns? It gets darker, nigga. He's black. And his voice as the sound of many waters. You know niggas got voices like the sound of many waters, nigga. To hell with you creators of Firefox. All these notifications distracting an Israelite from study. Oxford University is founded in England. (1206 AD). Genghis Khan leads the Mongol armies. You want to know why some Europeans look Asian? Genghis Khan got a lot of babies. He impregnated a lot of white women. 30 to 60 million people are killed in their campaigns, building the largest known land empire, greater than Persia. It stretched from the Pacific Ocean to the Black Sea. Pacific Ocean is on the east of China. The Black Sea is where them Europeans at. Damn near Europe. We ain't even get to 1611 yet. Hold on. 1223 AD, Genghis Khan invades Russia. 1241, them Poland's try to fight. Them Europeans try to fight the Mongols, but the Mongols successfully defeat another European army back after back, because they've been doing it back after back. Mongol troops destroyed Baghdad, 1258 AD, the capital of the Islamic Abbasid Caliphate. The Mongols destroyed so many books by throwing them into the Tigris that its waters was colored black from the ink. Wow. 1300 AD. Gunpowder is used for warfare in England after being introduced to Europe in 1242. It don't take them crackers long. The purple is weather. Light purple is like civilization. England and France have war. It's all Gentile stuff. You notice there ain't no Israelites. We're being persecuted this whole time. We're being killed by Muslims and persecuted by Christians, right? The bubonic plague starts in China and moves westward, just like coronavirus. Wuhan. (1346). The Mongols lay siege to the port of Kaffa on the Crimean Peninsula. You know Crimean, and catapulted plague corpses into the besieged city. Ew. The Mongol army withdraws, but has succeeded in bringing the plague to Europe. That's what they get. Good for you. The Black Plague, aka bubonic, kills in Europe 75 devil worshippers. 75 million devil worshippers. Stand corrected. Contemporary accounts place the death toll at 1/3 of inhabitants. Hold on. 1384. Translating from the official Latin Vulgate, Oxford scholar John Wycliffe, remember that name, Wycliffe, and his team produced the first English Bible. Since it predated the printing press, all copies were handwritten. So you got the 70 elders in Alexandria, 300 BC. Then you got the destruction of Jerusalem, AD. Then you got the reprinting of the scriptures, 1384. (1431), about 200 years before Negroes get to America. Joan of Arc burned at the stake. She is credited with leading the French in victory over the English. Just know them French don't mess with the English. Why? They're two different people. Both European, but we're going to figure out where them French niggas come from. Here we go, 1441. First documented Israelite slaves imported into Europe. What's that one nigga name? Septimius Severus. So when was he? Let's see. This black man, Septimius Severus. Shit, they got him at 193 AD. How can they ain't talk about that? Alright, a little bit before my time. But they got Africans, so they got 100 AD. Hold on. 211 AD. Civil Wars. So you know that's black people against white people in Rome. Okay. Bar cock bar. Alright. Where we at? 1441. 1453. The Roman Empire finally falls as Constantinople falls to the force of Muhammad. Basically, it's you about to get 1492. Christopher Columbus sailed the last Moorish fortress in Spain. 1492. What else we got? Now they know the earth is round. Queen Isabella correctly states that, her advisors, because the bitch was dumb, that China could be visited by going west since they know the earth is round now. I heard it was because of a black navigator with the compass. But that his ship would run out of supplies first since it was so far. Christopher Columbus uses some creative math, right? They're lying. And drastically underestimates the size of the earth. But guess what it says? Fortunately for him, the Americas got in the way. He lands in the Bahamas, and it says he died still thinking he had landed in Asia. Idiot. Hold on, he lands in the Bahamas. What did he do when he landed? Columbus was a mass killer. This is irishcentral.com. Why? I don't know. And the father of the slave trade. It is an uncomfortable truth, but it's time to recognize that
Your idol, white people, Christopher Columbus, was responsible for over 3 million deaths. So why you celebrating this nigga? It was said on his second voyage that nigga killed millions of people. It said his first voyage he ain't really killed no too many people. On his second voyage, so there were 60,000 people living on the island, including the Indians, black people and Indians. So that from 1494 to 1508, over 3 million people had perished from war, slavery, and the mines. Who in future generations will believe this, right? That's his second voyage. First time he didn't know where he was at. Second time he killed millions. The Americas got in the way. He lands in the Bahamas. And there's a death of 3 million people when this nigga comes through. Then he dies in 1506. You mean to tell me that this devil is somebody that you like? Any black person who supports a Euro Gentile is an adversary of God himself, of the Lord. 1504. See, they was trying to go to India. Columbus is shipwrecked on Jamaica, with the locals being less inclined to provide food for his sailors. Good for them. Columbus, after consulting his almanac, tells the Jamaicans that God is displeased with them and he will blot out the moon in 3 days. The eclipse does occur, and the locals energetically resupply Columbus because he's working with that devil. Martin Luther, 1517. Let's get this nigga daddy. Martin Luther, right? Martin Luther King, let's get his daddy. It says, an Augustinian monk, Martin Luther, nails his 95 Theses to the church door, unknowingly initiating the Protestant Revolution. Martin Luther King was a Protestant. He wasn't no Baptist. So while we got Solomon navigating the globe back in BC, 1010 BC, 1000 BC, you got take these niggas 3,000, almost 3,000 years, 2,500 years, right, for them to circumnavigate the globe. William Tyndale, remember that last name, publishes the first translation of the New Testament in English, right? So the guy that made the Bible into chapters and paragraphs was in 1550. Says Greek, Latin, and Hebrew scholar Robertus Stephanus publishes a Greek New Testament, the Textus Receptus, which will become the basis for many translations into common languages. That was in 1550, about 500 years ago. For centuries to come, this is the first Bible to have our familiar chapter and verse notations. The Bible before this was in one big text. You just had to read, my nigga. Just read. Hold on. I'm just going to go to 1611. Y'all know what time it is. The English settled in Jamestown, 1607. Before that, the Spanish in 1567 settled in North Carolina. Then you got the English in 1607, settled in Jamestown. The city of Santa Fe, New Mexico in 1608, the oldest capital city in the U.S., is founded by the Spanish. I'm going to do two more. Galileo, 1612. So right after King James Version, 1611, Galileo proposes for the first time in history, in his story, that the sun rotates on its axis after charting the location of the sunspots over time. So now, this is the first time they don't believe that the sun is some Roman bastard riding in the golden chariot on fire, right? Some crazy shit. So crazy stuff. Then after they believe the sun is a real celestial body, 1620, the Pilgrims arrive at Plymouth Rock. And like they say, I didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on me. Alright, y'all should know the rest of this. We could do a part 3. We got 1776, Declaration of Independence. Yeah, this goes on for a bit. Haha. We're living in the times now. They got 2022 Russian war. Timeline! Y'all better make something happen, baby. They got coronavirus on here.